Welcome back in this new video. In this video I will continue with the project Julia, and now we are going to do the backward pass, which is basically calculating the late start and finish times of all the activities. First of all, we are going to look at the formulas for the backward pass, and remember that I decided to do the calculation starting from 1. Then we calculate the late start and the late finish time, and we complete the activity table with the early start, early finish, late start and late finish times of all the activities. So let's look at the formulas first. We already had the formulas for the forward pass, and now we can deduct the formulas for the backward pass. The backward pass. So the late finish of the predecessor is equal to the late start of the successor minus 1, and the late start late start of the activity is equal to the late finish time minus the duration plus 1. It's a very simple mathematical transformation between the two formulas, but these are the formulas that we are going to use when we are calculating the backward pass. So here we have the result that we obtained in our previous case. So we find here that we have all the early start and early finish times for the different activities and the formulas that we are going to use. So we have the late start of the predecessor or of the activity, is equal to the late finish of the activity minus the duration plus 1. And the late finish of the predecessor is equal to the late start of the successor minus 1. Now, the first important thing that we have to consider is what time will we use to do the calculations back. And that's also the reason why the finish milestone is quite interesting, because we know that the project will finish after 21 periods. What we're going to do is the late finish time of the last activities, L and K, means that basically what is the latest time L and K can finish without changing the duration of the activity. For L, that's quite obvious, it will be 21. But K finishes at 15, and I've seen people starting to do the calculation backward here from 15, which leads to, of course, errors, because the late finish time of activity K, the latest time activity K can finish without changing the duration of the project, is also 21 periods. As long as those two activities don't finish later than the period 21, there is no delay on the project. So both of them have a late finish time, which is equal to the highest early finish time of the two activities, the two ending activities L and K. So we calculate back from 21. We apply the formulas, and 19 minus 3 plus 1 is 18. And like we did in the previous exercise, we can also, or you can stop the calculations or the video, do the calculations on your own and see if you find the same results. So let's go through it. I'm sure that you've done this before, so I'm not going to do or explain all the calculations. So K has a late start time of 19. For H and J, there is no problem. We have 18 as a late start for both of them. For H, we find a late start of 12 and a late start of 15 for J. And I think I, by accident, said for 18 it was the late start, but it's the late finish time of activities H and J. We can now continue. There is no issue for C and D. We find a late finish time of 11 for both of them. For C, an early or a late start of 7, and for D, a late start of 5. We do the same for activity E. We have a successor is J, so we have 15 minus 1 is 14. We find the late start is equal to 12. Now we have to look at f and g, and there are two successors of f, for example, j and k. And in this case, we must take the lowest number, because if f would finish later than 15, then we will have an issue with the completion time of the project. Now you can calculate it if you want. Basically, we must select the lowest late start of the successors, in this case 15, and minus 1, it gives us 14. For G, we find 18. Now we only have one successor. So for F, we find the late start equal to 10. And for G, we find this equal to be 13. For A, we have three successors, and we apply the same rule. We find the successor with the lowest late start time, which is activity D, with 5. 5 minus 1 gives us 4, and 4 minus 4 plus 1 is 1. The same principle for B. We look at F and G. F has the lowest late start time, so the late finish time of B is 10 minus 1 is 9, which gives a late start time of 4. And now we finish the entire network diagram with the forward and the backward pass, and we can in fact add that information to the table. And the last thing to do with the table is to determine the slack, and that we will do in the next video, where we're going to calculate the slack and identify the critical path. That's it for this video. So that's it for this lesson, or this video of lesson 1. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.